Yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on? We are live. This is the midweek report for March 12th, 2025. And I am, like I said, still on the move. I've been on the move. It's like I'm always on the move. I got a number of things that I'm, trying to do here in reference to this particular weekend. We got a few things here that are scheduled coming up here in the sport of boxing. Particularly, we got something for Orlando on Saturday, right? We also should be having a world title bout scheduled, also, or something like that, where we're going to have Nick Ball that's going to be stepping in the ring against TJ Doheny or something like that, right? So we got that also on the schedule there for Saturday. And what is it? In about a few hours, you're going to have Kenshiro Taraji going up against Seigo Akui and Anthony Olaskawaga going up against Hiroto Kayaguchi. Now, listen, I don't know if I'm going to be up going to be up live for watching that. I'll listen. Like I said, I'm old. Pretty much gonna what is it gonna be? Having another digit after the four tomorrow. And listen, man, all these like either early mornings or late nights is it is taking a toll there. So definitely, we're just gonna scale back on that, particularly, when we had what happened here earlier today. We, had the thing there in reference to Keith Thurman returning to the ring. So we're going to be talking about that here as well on this version of the midweek report. Just looking here to see when our special guest is able to join in here with us, as we got you know uh, uh, him scheduled to come on to talk about the upcoming season of Team Combat League. So that is scheduled here for this particular edition of the midweek report. Ahead, of course, all the whole thing that went on over the past week or week and a half within the sport of boxing itself. Of course, when it comes to the TKO League there, and the reaction to it, all across the sport. And I'm still, getting messages about it. What my thoughts on it are, and it's gonna be something. And the thing is, it's like the start of it's supposed to be what, not even what, a year from now, pretty much like a year from now or something like that, right? So we got to see how things develop here first within these next few months, and then see how it goes as far as what happens when they do have the launch of this TKO boxing league. So we'll see how that shapes itself out, how it's going to work out there, and we'll have a few things to say on that. But like I was talking about earlier, you do have the fight cards that are coming up here over in, what is it? The UK has something, right? And also, I had the thing there where you're gonna have Ammo Williams versus Patrice Voney as the headlining bout, right? So we got to see, how that works out there in that particular sense, right? Because you're gonna have that as the headlining bout, right? You're gonna have Edgar Berlanga there against Jonathan Gonzalez Ortiz in the co-feature. You're gonna have Jermaine Ortiz versus Yomar Alamo. You're gonna have Jose Roman and Jalil Hackett in the rematch. And that y'all know that's one that I'm looking at. You're gonna have Omari Jones in his pro debut against Alessio Mastronunzio. You're gonna have Pablo Valdez against Mauro Godoy, and Carlos Leon Castro going up against Carl Rogers there. So that is the fight card. That is at the Caribe Royale. Starts, they said, around like 5 o'clock or something like that. So, man, I have to see what the fight order is just to confirm things, to see, like, of course, where I'll be able to see the debut of Omari Jones, and of course see that rematch between Jose Roman and Jaleel Hackett there before anything else. So definitely wanted to make sure that I'm in the in the house for all of that. You know what I mean? So with that, I'd say, what is it like? Thing with Mo Williams, right? Just to talk about that real quick here as I reach out to our guests to see if they're able to get able to jump in, right? Um, Now the thing with Mo Williams, where was I at, man? I was at the joint there where he fought at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, getting a TKO victory there. That was like an 8-round bout. This is coming off of his loss to Hamza Shiraz, where he pretty much got outworked there. I would say from the start of the bout until the bout ended up getting stopped. Right. We had built his record up, had some wins over the likes of a Steve Rolls or a Kieran Conway, but the Shiraz, that was something there where it was like a almost like a mismatch of some sort, because Shiraz was just levels above Emma Williams at that particular point. So with that, it would kind of like had him in a little bit of a standstill, but at least for him, he was able to get back into the ring within 5 months. I think that's really important, especially if you're coming off of a loss from a loss of that magnitude of where you're at as far as like your standing, that you get right back in the ring as soon as possible to get yourself back in the win column, get your confidence up, and get yourself in a positive light from that point forward, so that once you get into your next bout, you're like, hey, you know what? After what I did, I'm ready to go in here and do the same thing next time around, right? So for Mo Williams to do that, as far as like going in the ring there against Gian Garrido, getting a technical knockout, getting that win, that sets him up here against Patrice Volney, who, man, it's been a good minute since I've seen Patrice Volney live, right? I was back in 2021 where he fought Esquiva Falcao in Las Vegas. That was on that Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter fight card, there in Las Vegas, right? And ever since then, Volney has had wins over DeAndre Ware, Stephen Butler, and Abraham Juarez over in Canada. Where he's based in Canada, so he went back in his home country and got those victories that set him up here for this bout against Mo Williams. So real quick shout out to my guy Jake Pylon in the live chat here. Salute to you. Thanks for joining in live here for the midweek report. Just waiting to see if I could get my guests on, because I reached out to see if they'd be able to get on around this time to confirm. So I'm just looking to see if they're confirming that they could get on around this time. So so that was the thing there, reference to like Patrice Volney there, of course, going up against Mo Williams in that feature bout there at the Caribe Royale in Orlando. And as I mentioned, I'm here in Orlando, but just here for mainly the bout between Jaleel Hackett and Jose Roman. Yep, there for the rematch for that. So definitely looking forward to that here coming up. And seeing how that's going to turn out, because this is really big here for Jaleel Hackett. If you check the the YouTube channel, I had that interview there with Jaleel Hackett. Might chop up a couple of things here and there for I guess later tonight and probably tomorrow of that interview, right? And also I'll see if I could catch up with them before the fight takes place on Saturday, because he was able to build his record up, get that WBA Continental Americas title before facing Jose Roman over in Puerto Rico last year, and it ended up being a split decision there for Jose Roman. We had the 96-94 on both sides before one judge had it 96-94 in favor of Jose Roman. Like I said, I didn't see Roman winning 6 rounds in that particular bout. So we got to see what happens here in this rematch. And I think that in this rematch, we're going to see Jalil Hackett see if he could take care of business here in this instance. Yes, there is the thing there where Jose Roman is the taller fighter, has the reach too, but I think we have a specific strategy out there for Jalil Hackett to get to the inside, be able to work the jab, be more active there in these exchanges before being able to do more damage there. Because I feel like in the first bout, even though I felt like he did enough to win the bout, there were some instances where he did kind of be too eager to try to hurt Jose Roman instead of trying to set it up first. Work the jab, set up feints, set up fakes as far as like going upstairs and downstairs with the jab, and then coming over with the right hand. So I feel like you're gonna have his coaches there. Coach Bernard Hackett is there. You're also supposed to have Coach Kenny Ellis there alongside him there for that particular rematch against Jose Roman. So waiting to see how that's going to work, because that's going to be a key bout there within the WBA rankings at 147 pounds. Is you have Jose Roman that I let me see if I could go ahead and confirm where they have him at in the WBA, because they had Jalil Hackett there within the top 15 of the WBA before his bout against Jose Roman, but now they got Jose Roman there at number 15. And I'm looking at the thing there for these rankings, and hey, we got a good amount of fighters in there that have some things coming up, so we got to see how that goes. What I do see that's interesting though is in the top 3, they have Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia in the top 3. That's something. That's something right there. Of course, they have that bout coming up on May, Friday in Times Square between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero. But both of them there being in WBA rankings at number 2 and number 3. Man, we all know what that's about. We all know what that's about. I ain't even really gotta go further further in reference to that. We all know what that means there. But for these two fighters, this is a very key bout for both of them in order for them to climb the rankings there in the welterweight division. As both of them have just one loss in their professional careers. Jose Roman, with his lone loss there to Cesar Francis back in 2021. So he's had those 3 victories with the one there against Jalil Hackett last year, and he's seeing if he could do it again. So we got to see if he's going to be able to do it again here. But like I said, this fight card is scheduled for what is it? How many bouts they got? They got 1, 2, looks like 8. It look like they got 7 on here, but I'm thinking they might have a couple that they might add on to the overall fight card, because they said it's supposed to be doors open at like 5 o'clock. So I gotta see like how that's going to work there. So let me see here. I wanted to what is it? Ammo Williams, right? Yeah. So we're gonna have that, and then Ammo Williams there against Patrice Volney. I'm looking at it. Let's see. Okay. All right. They're gonna have the press conference at 1 o'clock. Okay. And then the weigh-in is at 1 o'clock on Friday. And what is it, man? We got like I said, around like 5 o'clock is when they're supposed to, go ahead and have that first bout. I see who's in the live chat. Oh man, he's coming back. Oh man. Oh man, hey man, hey, he did his thing. He did his thing. I'm gonna say that he did his thing. He definitely did his thing. You know what I mean? So one time was able to, step in the ring and handle business there against Brock Jarvis. Listen, I'm come on, y'all. Everybody knew that he was going to beat he was going to beat Brock Jarvis, man. If he couldn't beat Brock Jarvis, then he would have to hang it up. He would have to. You know what I mean? But there in that particular bout, man, he said like he was back like he never left. But if y'all remember, he was preparing for not only that bout that he was scheduled to have against Tim Zoo last year, but he was also potentially inserted in as an opponent for Terrence Crawford. You so he had been in and out of the gym for a good amount of time. It was just that for last year, March of last year, he had the misfortune of having an injury that took him out, for the rest of that year before he was able to prepare himself to get back in the ring. So with that being said, he was able to step in the ring there in Australia against Brock Jarvis, and man, I tell you, yeah, that was just a feature bout there, and y'all know it. That was a feature bout there, for Keith Thurman, for him to get back in the ring after over 3 years. That's the crazy part, y'all, right? And they said it there in the telecast, right? This is the last three bouts that Keith Thurman has had in his professional career. Emmanuel Dapidron Pacquiao in July of 2019. Mario Barrios in February of 2022. And Brock Jarvis just earlier today. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Shout out to Secret Dance Move here in the building. There, yeah, he said Thurman looks sensational. I mean, yeah, he like I said, he was back like he never left, but he was able to move very well. Like he was very comfortable in the ring. It was almost like you saw the unified welterweight champion Keith Thurman in the ring, and you saw him like set up shots. You saw him set up feints. Like almost like throwing a jab and then going around with the hook that Brock Jarvis just had absolutely no answer for. Absolutely none. And that is, how we pretty much set up the shots that he was able to score the knockdown with. And that uppercut, boy, ooh man, that uppercut just it almost sent Brock Jarvis to the stratosphere. I was actually surprised that Brock Jarvis actually got up from that uppercut, but he did. But he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. Because Keith Thurman, listen, he was looking like he was going to set up that uppercut again. I thought when he approached Brock Jarvis that he was actually going to go with a right to the body, because you saw that Brock Jarvis was kind of covering up and he had the whole body open. I thought he would have just went boom right to the body and would have just like tore him up in that instance. But after a little bit of a blitz of punches there from Keith Thurman, the referee stepped in and had the bout stopped because Brock Jarvis, man, it was a wrap for him. It was a wrap for him. I mean, come on, 22-1. I mean, 22-1, but this is a guy that kind of like ballooned up in weight. He's had a majority of those fights over in Australia, but he's fought Liam Paro at 140 in 2022. Got cleaned out in one round, and that's the super lightweight division He's fought in the super featherweight division, lightweight division, super lightweight division, and then just ballooned up last year against Adrian Rodriguez, and that was like a 6 round bout. So like, come on, what are we doing? You know, and so that's why Keith Thurman was talking about, he basically like a lightweight, coming up to super welterweight. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what you saw there. I mean, yeah, you kind of seen that, maybe Brock Jarvis looked like he was in shape or whatever it is, but you could see also that it looked like he just bulked up to that particular weight class. You know what I mean? Shout out to Dre in the building here. What's going on with you? You'll see in here, just trying to follow up with, you'll see if our guests could come in, because like I said, over, I think over his way, it's like their Pacific time. So that's why I was like, just try to confirm that he would be able to join in. But if he can't, I mean, like I said, it is what it is on that. We'll revisit here, just waiting on him to join in, but we'll revisit here at a later instance if he's not able to join, because I have a strict, well, it's not really a strict schedule, so to speak, but I actually have like another thing scheduled coming up here later on, and it's going to be on X. It's going to be on X. So after this midweek report, we're going to have spaces on X there, and I'm going to have a guest on spaces through that as well. But back to this thing here with Keith Thurman, man. Keith Thurman back. Keith Thurman is back. And if y'all were able to watch, as they say, the replay there on the Premier Boxing Champions channel, you had the main announcer on, and he had two fighters on there with him. One of them was, of course, Sean Porter, multi-time champion there at 147 pounds. And also you had Tim Tszyu that was on there. You know what I mean? And the thing was, of course, as I mentioned, last year we were supposed to have Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman ended up getting injured, and we had the whole classic bout between Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora. That was an absolute bloodbath that ended up having Sebastian Fundora win by decision, right? And then after that, Tim Tszyu was lined up to have a fight with Virgil Ortiz Jr. Didn't necessarily happen. And he ended up fighting back with Murtazaev, and we all saw what happened in that one. Now, you have Tim Tszyu that's scheduled for a bout on April 6th. And if he gets through that, then that, all leads to Keith Thurman and Tim Tszyu, later this year, right? Shout out the Secret Dance Move. He says, let's see. I was worried at first when Jarvis came out blasting and hitting Thurman to the body. That first round was pretty good. It was pretty good for both guys. But Thurman was able to, work with that and get hit with those shots and roll with it pretty well. You know what I mean? He says, give Thurman one more fight against Tim Tszyu and he'll be ready for anyone at 154. He says also that he take Thurman over Fundora right now, but maybe not Backroom though. Yeah, speaking of Backroom, I got something about him too. He says, he said he think that he would beat Bud Crawford. Ooh. I don't know. Bud Crawford looked like he's well over the point where he could get to 154 pounds now at this point. So I don't know how that fight would kind of work at this juncture. But with Keith Thurman, yeah, he has this one performance here against Brock Jarvis. Now he could, see about campaigning there at 154 pounds. Yes, I do want to see him back in the ring as soon as possible. I don't want no another 2-year, 3-year type thing. I mean, what is he there at? What, 36? What is he? 36, right? Yeah, 36. He's at 36. Okay. There's not that much time for Keith Thurman in the ring. We got to get him back in the ring. That too. Yeah, I think a number of people had felt that Thurman would be a bad style matchup for Crawford. So we had to see because he has a very good movement, good enough speed, and is able to tag Crawford in multiple spots. Is the only thing with Crawford though is his like reach is crazy. Is absolutely crazy. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, fresh 36. Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, three fights since July, the beginning of July of 2019. Three. That's it. That's it for Keith Thurman. I mean, now with Crawford, I mean, Crawford is pretty much like had one fight a year, like each year for the past like 4 or 5 years too. So it ain't like he's there for the worse for wear either. But yeah, with Keith Thurman, yeah, only having those three fights is absolutely insane. But I say, hey, let's get him right back at it. Uh, like I said, Tim Zoo was there in attendance there, with the coverage, and they were going back and forth, or I don't know if Tim Zoo Keith Thurman was able to hear Tim Zoo, but Keith Thurman did have some words for Tim Zoo, and Zoo was like, yeah, okay, blah 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 blah. All right, but as I mentioned earlier, Tim Zoo has to take care of business and do his thing. You know what I mean? He has to definitely do his thing there so that he'll be able to have that matchup set up, there real quick. All right. So with that being said, right, I'm gonna see here if I could try something here for a little bit, right? Because like I said, I had to, wait for the guests to, come through, but didn't necessarily hasn't necessarily been able to jump on as of yet. So we're gonna see if I could try a few things here and there or whatnot, and then resume here with the midweek report. You know what I mean? So let me see how I will be able to do this because this is something here. Like I said, I was you know, back just in the thing there in the middle of traveling or whatnot. And so, with that being said, I thought that I did a couple of things here to, basically be ready or whatnot. But I did forget one or two things here in routes. And one of them I shouldn't have forgot. I don't even understand why I did that. So I will have to get a few things here done over the next couple of days. But for the time being, we'll see. How I'll be able to take care of a few things here and there. But let me see here, because you know what, we're pretty much doing an ad lib at least today, because like I said, I'm on the road and stuff like that. So what I'll try to do here is I will be back and forth here in just a moment. So y'all just bear with me here real quick because I have to make a little bit of a transition to see if this thing works. So bear with me here 1 second and I'll be right back. I know that y'all hear me and everything like that. Might be a little bit in the distance, but you still have to take care of a few things here and there, right? Like I said, while I'm gonna try to wait for a guest or whatnot. But like I said, supposed to be right back at it here in an hour through X, right? So we're gonna be right back at it in an hour through X. And while that goes down, you know what I mean, I will see if I could try to get the guests back on, right? But in the time being, or for the time being, I will see, how this works because, yeah, like this was, like I said, impromptu. By the time I got to where I could get to settle in, it was almost time to do the midweek report. And if I didn't, pretty much say that I had this hard time start, so to speak, then I probably would have done the midweek report probably started around this time, right? But with that being said, I'm still, in the midst of trying to work a few things here and there. So we're gonna try something else here as well. I think we could do something else here in a minute. Let's see. Um, let's work this thing here, and then we could do this here in a moment. So hold on just a bit. We got like a little bit here that we're going to try here. And then once we get this thing going, then I'll be able to properly switch over. All right. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. So y'all should be able to hear me. Hopefully y'all hear me. Um, hopefully we got everything here. So that's why I see here at this particular juncture. Hopefully you still hear me while I'm trying to get through this thing here in the transitional period or whatnot, right? So if y'all can, man, if you support the Boston Source here, hit the like button. Okay, all right, audio good, cool, cool, cool. Because should have a couple of things here that I'm gonna try to do here in a few seconds, right? Before I'm able to, try to get this thing back on here to the way that I want it, right? So, like I was saying there with Keith Thurman, I see him, getting back in the ring. Hopefully by the summer, probably late summer, late July, early August. If you have the bout there with Tim Zoo that's scheduled for April, right? So as long as he's able to have or take care of business in April, when it is I'm talking about Tim Zoo, right? Then you'll have him fighting Keith Thurman. All right. So with that, I would say that that's going to be a very good bout. A bout that's going to really determine who could be next up. There, well, I'm not sure if they'd be next up because, of course, we got something scheduled for March 22nd, right? With Sebastian Fedor and Cordell Booker, and that's going to have the WBC and WBO titles on the line there, and that's at Mandalay Bay, right? So, with that being said, the winner of that bout could have a mandatory call. Okay. There's, a little bit of news, I would say, right? Let me see here. Yeah, see if this is, yeah, there might be a mandatory call in reference to one of those belts. We have a top contender there, at least for the WBO. And rumor has it, he could be scheduled to be the next person in line for the world titles. You know, so with that being said, right, we got to see, how that's gonna, set up for the winner of Sebastian Fedor versus Cordell Booker because Fedor will be defending the WBC and WBO super lightweight titles. Okay, so after that, then you're gonna have a next defense there coming up. So we got to see how that goes too, right? Yeah, still waiting on there. Yeah, I would say you might have to reschedule this thing here with the guest because like I said, as of right now, I still haven't seen where they'll be able to get back on. Uh, Singer Dance Food says that yeah, Thurman has been the best smack talker in boxing. Hey, I mean he's definitely had the gift of gab there, so he's There, as far as like, hey, you talk about someone that promotes himself very well. That's Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman definitely does that. You know, he says like Tim Tszyu is a perfect second fight for Thurman, and then winner gets a world title fight later in 2025. Yeah, you um, whether it's thing there with the Fedora Booker winner, or you'll see what happens with Bakhmut Zaliev. Now, you also have the situation there with the WBA. I have to go back to that, right? Because remember, the World Boxing Association super welterweight title is held by Terrence Crawford. Okay, and Terrence Crawford is, set up to, go ahead and face, was it Canelo Alvarez, right? So if that's going to be the case, and he ends up, giving up those titles, or at least the WBA title, right? Then, how is that WBA situation going to work? We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But hold on just a minute. I'm gonna see if I could try something else here. Just bear with me for 1 second, because I am trying to, switch things up or whatever it is, and see how that goes. Hold on just a moment. Let's see how this works. You know what I mean? Where's the? Hold on a second. Yeah, something out here tripping. Like, real talk. I'm trying to get this other thing going, and it's not even looking like it's trying to pull, from the joint here. So yeah, this is insane. All right. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to get this other joint going, so I could get that started, right? All right. So yeah. So that's the thing I had reference to that, man. Hold on a second. Trying to figure out why this thing is not even accessing the DAC camera. That don't make any sense. Not even that. It's the camera and the audio. This is insane. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I was trying to see if I could get this thing to access or whatever, but hold on a minute. Like, this thing should be able to do it. I don't understand it. It should be able to do it. Not sure why. But with that being said, man, this makes no sense. Yeah, this is something here for this particular version of the Midweek Report, but yeah, I have to find a few things here. Hold on just a moment, because this should be able to work here. Not sure why. Uh, so yeah. So yeah, that's the thing there with Keith Thurman. I mean, he's able to get that win. Like I said, it was an easy win, easy night for him. And then after that, I would say he could have this bout coming up against Tim Tszyu in the summer, probably late July, early August. And then after that, he would be set up for, if he does win, he would be set up for another bout that could be for a world title. You know what I mean? So that's what I got on that. Uh, yeah, this is kind of bugging here on this front. And yeah, I was really not expecting to not have a very important uh, thing here, as far as like what I need in order to set some things up here while I'm at this location. But I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll see if I can have a quick part two here of this midweek report because like I said before, as I try to reach out to like I said with Dewey Cooper, I'll see if we have something there that he's kind of occupied with, but definitely wanted to continue with the talk as far as like Keith Thurman at the very least. And of course, the upcoming fight schedule. As I mentioned, there you have what's going on with Matchroom Boxing in Orlando. You have Nick Ball that has a fight coming up. You also have world title fights that are coming up within a few hours. So definitely wanted to talk about that here as well. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have that thing set up here in just a minute. So we're going to have a part two here for the midweek report and see if we can carry this on for at least another, I'd say, 30 minutes or whatever it is, 30 minutes. Yeah. So just give me a few moments here. We're gonna be right back at it here with another version of the midweek report, and we'll carry it on here until, like I said, about 8:50 p.m. Eastern time, and then we're gonna be over on X as we got something scheduled for X as well. Yeah, like what you're saying, man. The Nick Ball fight, yep, and the undercard has some good fights on it. That's the thing that I do want to talk about. So just give me a moment and then I'll be able to talk about that here as well. Dang, already sold out. God dog. That's crazy. Man, that's something there, man. Hey, yes, Nick Ball is getting a good number of fans over there in the UK or whatnot. So that's very good for him. That's good, very good for him. So yeah, I'll see if I could carry on with that particular conversation here on the newer version or the updated version here of the midweek report or take two of the midweek report. So I will catch y'all later on that front end. Just give me a few moments and we'll be right back here with the midweek report. Just stick on or stay on with the YouTube channel and you'll see the new link for the midweek report. All right. Later, y'all.